What's up, guys? Welcome back to Girl Gone Wild. We are going to be reacting to Foodie Beauty's latest video she just posted about her upcoming visa run, or exotic vacation with her loving husband. And she's talking about how she's not ready to travel, she's very out of shape, and she did not do what she needed to do in order to travel. So instead, she's going to be giving people tips and tricks for how to travel as a very fat, unhealthy, lazy person. So we're just going to go ahead and get into this.
Now, I will say, I've been saying for, months, I want to get ready for the trip. I want to lose some weight for the trip because I 100% don't dispute the fact that, if I lose weight, my mobility will increase greatly. I'll feel better. I'll be able to do a lot more. But as it turns out, I've been struggling a lot and I haven't been able to meet my goal.
Okay, so she says that she's been struggling a lot, but it's really just her making the same bad choices over and over again. It's not really struggling, it's just her refusing to do what she has to do in order to improve her health. She would rather eat tons of fast food, tons of junk food, and not move and be in seal position for most of the day. And that is why she is not ready. It's not because she's been struggling. She's been making bad choices.
Still traveling. We have the tickets from a long time ago, the hotel booked from a long time ago, and I still had a lot of fun when I went to Thailand. So
no, she has no other choice but to travel. She wants to talk about, oh, the tickets are already paid for, the hotel's already booked. This is a visa run. And I know the timeline got kind of messed up there, and I'm going to talk about at the end of the video why I think that is. She was traveling every 3 months because that's how long a visitor visa lasts in Kuwait. But something happened to where now it's been 4 months since she traveled for a visa run last. So I'm almost positive I know why that is, but I will talk about that at the end of the video. Let's just keep going.
how I did it, basically, I do still have some anxieties, of course, like everyone else, but I know I might look super tired because I have allergies and I have no makeup on. I have makeup on right now. So
Yeah, that one eye, the one that has been swollen and way bigger than the other one for a long time now, it looks like it's getting a lot worse. This pupil right here is way bigger than the pupil on the right. Like, there is something going on here. She needs to go to a doctor, not on a visa run. She needs to go home to Canada and get that checked out. If I were her, I would be so freaked out by that. But it's Chantal, she just doesn't care.
Oh, yeah, it's almost time to travel, and I have not lost any weight. I've gained some weight, so it will be a bit harder on me. But there are some ways that you can still be comfortable while traveling as an obese person, as comfortable as you can be. Obviously, losing the weight would have been ideal for me. Maybe I can, lose some weight while I'm there. Continue to try. We'll see. Every day is a fight, a struggle for me, and so yeah. But that's a topic for another time.
See, you can really see that eye right there. But anyway, yeah, it's always about making herself comfortable. That's the problem. I don't see how she doesn't understand that. That her constantly seeking to be comfortable is what got her into this position. So she shouldn't be worried about making this trip as comfortable as possible. Actually, it should be the exact opposite. She should be looking to make herself uncomfortable. In order for her to get any resemblance of being healthy in her life, she's going to have to deal with a lot of discomfort all day, every day, especially in the beginning. So yeah, seeking comfort is her worst enemy.
I think it just depends on your body type, your body shape, more than how much you weigh. Like,
Okay, so these are her stats. She says she's 158 kilos, which I think we said the other video would be like around 350 pounds. And her height is 155 centimeters. For those of us who don't use the metric system, that's about 5 foot. That's a little under 5'1". So she is very short. And the shape is an apple shape. Girl, give me a break. It's more like a beach ball shape, but okay.
it's not as long of a flight this time as going to Canada, so it's something I can endure. As for the mobility part, because airports are hard to maneuver, even for a fit person, they're exhausting if you have to be running around when you're tired and traveling all day.
No, they're not. Going from gate to gate or going from your gate to the exit of the airport, it's not exhausting for normal fit people. I mean, even someone who's like slightly out of shape, it's not exhausting. It's no big deal. What is she talking about?
So I have a lot of health issues, and I do have mobility issues because of my weight. Somehow in travel day, I'm able to just like suck it up, but it is hard. It is not, it's harder for sure. It's more difficult. I get winded more easily. My lower back starts hurting, just those kind of things. So,
Yeah, you're gonna have to push through that, Chantal. That's the thing, is that she tries to avoid pain and discomfort at all costs. And the more she avoids it, the worse it gets. And I honestly have no idea how she's going to make it through this visa run. I mean, it was really bad the last time they traveled to Thailand for the visa run. She was really bad then, but now she can't even go from the bathroom to the couch without being completely winded and having to lay down. Like, I am seriously concerned for her well-being on this trip. Something bad could happen.
so, if the airport has a service where you can request, like for certain people, you can request a wheelchair. Sometimes I approach these carts that are driving around and just like beg them for a ride to my gate, and they usually do oblige. Except when I went to Germany, they kind of just like said no.
The Germans were not having none of it. They said, no, you walk, you need to walk. And yeah, she does need to walk. Like, why would she take the cart? Why would she take the easiest way out? I understand it's uncomfortable and hard for her, but that's what she needs to do. I mean, if walking around an airport is too much for you, you probably shouldn't be traveling. I mean, that's just the bottom line. But if you're having to go on visa runs every 3 months so you don't get kicked out of the country you're in, then you got to do what you got to do.
So, but here in the Middle East, they always have the complimentary service. Even in the Montreal airport, they do have a little train station you can wait at, and someone will take you to your gate if you're disabled, you have mobility issues, or you're elderly.
And that's what I was just about to say. Now, there are people with legit disabilities or who are elderly and have mobility issues that are no fault of their own. But I was talking about someone like Chantel, who is 400 plus pounds and just refuses to do anything to help herself, refuses to move, refuses to even walk across the street unless she absolutely has to. So, yeah, that's what I was meaning. Like, of course, disabled people and elderly people, they should travel as much as they want. But if you're as bad off as Chantel, I mean, she should be more focused on getting her health together and making sure she doesn't die of a heart attack or a stroke rather than going on visa runs every 3 months.
So feel free to use those. But as for me, I try to walk it unless I'm really, really struggling. Then I'll ask for a ride. So, but being on the plane for a long time, it actually does feel good to walk a bit after, even though, it's hard for me. So, I'm going to try to walk it. If it's really tough on me, I'll try to find somebody to take me. But
Again, with the language that she's using, if it's really hard, if I feel like it, or sometimes it feels good to walk, if it's making you uncomfortable, Chantel, you're going in the right direction. That's what you need. You need to be uncomfortable.
what I usually do is just kind of, airports have a lot of seating usually, so I use those moving walkways, to take a break. I just stand on them and let them push me down the way. I also find some seating somewhere. So I take some walks and then I take some breaks. So taking breaks are very, very important. Staying hydrated, I always have water on me. Actually, right now talking, I'm pretty thirsty. So
I mean, these are her tips for other overweight people, is to bring water and take breaks. Like, I think they could figure that out for themselves, Chantal.
make sure you have a lot of water. So taking breaks is very important. Know your limits with your mobility to make it more enjoyable for you. Ideally, like for me, I don't like the situation I'm in. I wish I was able to change it a bit, but I didn't. So this is the situation I have to deal with. How am I going to make it comfortable?
Okay, so change it now. You didn't for the past 6 months, 3 months, a year, your entire life pretty much. You haven't done anything to change it. Okay, start now. Start on this trip. Quit eating so much and move around more and force yourself to be uncomfortable.
How am I going to make it good for myself? Another thing I find, I don't know if like all obese people have this problem, but I'm always hot and I'm always sweaty. So I make sure to have I don't have it around here with me, but a personal fan, and make sure it's charged. Make sure your personal fan is with you at all times, especially in hotter countries. It's a lifesaver, especially walking around airports when you're, doing more activity and you're sweaty.
Well, it doesn't help that she wears those skin tight head spanks where she doesn't even use breathable fabric and it's wrapped so tightly around her head. And then on top of that, she's wearing sweaters and polyester blends and these synthetic fabrics that don't allow heat to escape and don't allow sweat to evaporate. Like, I cannot imagine being in a super hot place and trying to walk around in all those layers of polyester. No wonder why she's so hot. Like, I don't understand why she doesn't invest in some nice cotton abayas or get herself some nice cotton hijabs. I mean, maybe she can't find them in her size, but she could probably get them custom made. That would be a number one priority if I were her.
So yeah, that's pretty much how I deal with my mobility issues. I just make sure that I have take enough breaks, and I choose activities and scope out the areas on Google and check out like images on Google Image to make sure that there's enough seating. Like, you have to know your limits. Like, if you can push yourself, but to a certain extent, you don't want it to become dangerous, and you don't want to overdo it and become sick abroad and have to worry about going to the hospital and stuff like that. So like, just be sure to know your limitations. It's very important. I sometimes push myself too much, and then, you know, my muscles are so
When have you ever pushed yourself too much? I've never seen it.
or I have blisters, or I just don't really feel too well. I feel like I'm going to pass out. So I don't want to get to that point ever again.
Yeah, you're gonna get blisters and you might feel like you're gonna pass out. I mean, if someone's exercising heavily, they get that feeling too. Maybe not like you do, but yeah, that's when you take a break and then you start again. Then you push yourself again. And blisters and being sweaty and feeling super hot, that's gonna be part of the process.
It's better to take your time and just have a seat if you really need to. So yeah, that's even if that means going to the airport earlier, or planning more time in between, like finding a flight that, you know, instead of having an hour time, let's say your transit, if you so I can't talk today. What I do is I usually choose flights with a longer transit time if I have to take two, if there's a stop in between. Basically, if I have to take two flights, there's two legs, because I know that an hour is not going to be enough time to rush for me. So to avoid that stress, I'd rather have a longer transit time than have to rush and like overdo it for myself.
Imagine an hour not being long enough to walk from gate to gate inside the same airport. That's crazy.
So those are just little, you know, knacks that I use to deal with my weight issues. At the same time, while I'm living this, I have to accept what I am at the moment and try to enjoy myself regardless. So just, you know, I'm not.
You have enjoyed yourself entirely too much. Again, that is the problem here. You should not be seeking enjoyment. You should be seeking discomfort. Discomfort.
Not saying be proud of your limitations, but just don't let them deter your traveling and ruin it for you. Don't be like ashamed, like, oh, I have to take, you know, I have these mobility issues, I need certain things. Like, don't be ashamed of that.
But if you're someone like Chantal in her state that she's in right now, to where she has very serious medical concerns and she is unable to even walk from the bathroom to the couch without being extremely out of breath, and someone who is so addicted to fast food and junk food to where she's putting back 3, 4, 5,000 calories in a single sitting.
So I hope that like quelled some of your anxieties. If you're overweight and you've always dreamed of traveling and you're waiting to lose weight to do it, there's always ways you can travel. So don't worry about that.
I mean, she's talking like she's just a chubby girl, you know. She's just a little bit overweight and she's got to lose a few pounds. And hey, if you're a little overweight, you can still travel. No, she is super morbidly obese and her life is going to be cut dramatically short, possibly very soon, if she doesn't get things under control. She had uncontrolled diabetes for who knows how long. I don't know how well they're being controlled right now, but with the way she eats, I would guess not too well. She's got one eye bulging out of her skull, and the one pupil is like twice the size of the other one, which could be a sign of a lot of different things, and none of them are good. And she has been hospitalized multiple times just this year alone for various issues that have come up with this. So yeah, it's not just her being a little overweight. She is in seriously bad health right now, and if she's going to be talking to people in her situation, the only advice she should be giving them is, hey, don't travel. Don't worry about going and having a good time in another country. Stay home. Take care of your health. Have that be your number one priority. because not everyone has to go on visa runs every 3 months like Chantal does. So, and her advice is stupid anyway. Pretty much all she said was drink a lot of water, don't make yourself uncomfortable by walking too much, and, you know, don't take public transportation, take cabs instead so you can avoid walking as much as possible. Yeah, this is not groundbreaking advice on any level.
You can follow along, our travel journey
Oh,
for
we will
more.
be.
I also have some travel videos on our Salah and Chantal channel. You can check it out. The links in the description. And I also have some channels in my, I also have some videos on my channel as well. I'll try to link them in the description as well, so you can see
And she gets out of breath just talking. Just sitting there talking, she is completely out of breath.
how I traveled throughout various times, and didn't think I could do it either, but I did. And each time you do something you don't think you can, you get stronger and it gets easier to do. So yes. Anyway, thank you for
No,
listening to me. So I'm not ready to travel as I thought I would be, but we're gonna still do this. It'll be interesting and a little more challenging, but there are ways. And I'm head set on enjoying myself anyway, and not getting too down, and not dwelling on the fact that I'm not smaller, I'm not in better shape. And inshallah we will still have a good time. So anyways, that's it for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
yeah, no, you're in way worse shape than you ever have been. And she says, oh, by doing these things more, you get more comfortable with it and they get easier. No, it's getting harder and harder for you, Chantal. And if things don't change, these visa runs are going to become impossible for you, especially if you're not on this earth anymore to do them. But that's what makes Chantal Chantal. She makes the worst decisions. Her priorities are all out of whack and refuses to take responsibility for any of her bad choices. But anyway, I said I was going to talk about this visa run timing and why I think the timeline is off. Okay, so she was traveling every 3 months. They went to Thailand that one time, then she went to Canada multiple times. But then 3 months came and went this summer, and we're on month 4 right now, and the timing lines up perfectly for this theory of mine. So you guys remember when her and Salah were going downtown and going to these different buildings, and it seemed like they were probably getting his visa in order or doing something in with the government, and most people thought that they were getting these documents in order. Well, I looked it up, and it turns out that you can get a 30-day extension on a visitor visa in Kuwait. So I think that's what happened here, and she thought, oh, this is going to be perfect, this is going to throw off the timeline and people won't be suspicious anymore that I'm going on visa runs. But we all know what's going on here. But yeah, I think this time it was simply a 30-day extension. And I'm not sure if you can do that multiple times. I couldn't figure that out. But if you can do it multiple times, then she will probably be seeking that 30-day extension each time her visa is up for renewal. So instead of her traveling every 3 months, we might start seeing it where she travels every 4 months. But I don't know. We're going to have to see. Either way, I know this is a visa run, okay? There's no other way she would be doing it for any other reason. But that's my opinion. All of this is just my opinion. All of this is just allegedly. Feel free to disagree with me in the comments down below. But that's going to be it for today, guys. I will be talking to you real soon. Thank you so much for listening. This is a brand new channel, so if you like my content, make sure you are subscribed. And don't forget to hit the like button on the way out. I will be back with another video very soon. Okay, bye.